On the faraway island of Aussie Oi Oi, Howard the Coward was quite the top boy. A prosperous isle. It was clean, it was neat. The water was warm, there was plenty to eat. The people had everything people might need, and they were all happy, quite happy indeed. They were, until Howard, the arrogant fool, decided that power was ever so cool. "I'm ruler," said Howard, "of all that I see. But I don't see enough, that's the trouble with me. With this stone for a heart, I look down on the land, but I don't see the people who might need a hand. This throne that I sit on is too low down. It ought to be higher," he said with a frown. "If I could sit high, how much greater I'd be. What a king! I'd be ruler of all I could see." So Howard the Coward, he lifted his hand, and Howard the Coward, he gave a command. He ordered some battlers to come to his home, and using these battlers, he built a new throne. He made each one stand on another one's back, and he piled them all up in a big battler stack. And then Howard climbed up. He sat down on the pile. What a wonderful view! He could see most a mile. "All mine!" Howard cried. "Oh, the things I now rule! I can do what I want. This is making me drool. I'm boss of the reps, and what's more beyond that, I'm boss of the Senate. I can be such a twat! I'm Howard the Coward. Oh, marvellous me! For I am the ruler of all that I see." And all through the summer he sat there up high, saying over and over, "A top bloke am I," until round about June. Then he heard a faint sigh. "What's that?" snapped wee Johnny. He looked down the stack and he saw at the bottom a voter named Mac, just a part of his throne. But this plain little one looked up and he said, "We're not happy, John. I've pains in my back and my shoulders and knees. What's happened to my workers' rights, if you please?" "Silence!" the boss of the Liberals barked back. "I'm PM. You're only a voter named Mac. You stay in your place while I sit here and rule. You've nothing to whinge about. Eat up your gruel. I'll spin you a yarn about kids overboard, and why you should fight in my mate Georgie's war. My throne must be higher," his reedy voice quivered. "So pile up more battlers, or else I'll be livid. Aspirational voters," he bellowed and brayed, and the voters low down in the land were dismayed. But they had bills to pay, so they came, they obeyed. From all over the land they came droning by dozens, whole families of battlers, with uncles and cousins, and all of them stepped on the heads of the others, on fathers and mothers, on sisters and brothers. Then Howard the Coward was perched up so high he could see 40 miles from his throne in the sky. "Hooray!" shouted Howard. "I've fooled 'em again. I'll offer a tax cut, but I won't say when. I'll drive in a wedge, it'll cause such a rout. I'm master of fear, uncertainty, doubt. I'm Howard the Coward. Oh, marvellous me, for I am the ruler of all that I see." Then again, from below, in that great heavy stack, came a groan from that plain little voter named Mac. "Prime Minister, please, I don't like to complain, but down here below we are feeling great pain. I know up on top you are seeing great sights, but down at the bottom we too should have rights. We battlers are hurting from mortgage attack. If we don't get relief, we'll be buggered," groaned Mac. "You hush up your mouth," the Prime Minister spoke. "You've no right to talk to the land's toppest bloke. I rule from the clouds, over land, over sea. There's nothing, no, nothing that's higher than me. But while he was shouting, he saw with a gurn that the mood of the people was starting to turn, and for a fair go, they were starting to yearn. "Big deal," snorted Howard. "I'll feed 'em some bunk. I'll make their heads spin till they think they're punch drunk. But I might need some help now to keep this mob down, so I'll call on my mates at the big end of town. I'll fool some more voters, I'll stack 'em to heaven. I need 'bout 5,607. But as Howard the coward he lifted his hand and started to order and give the command, that plain little voter below in the stack, that plain little voter whose name was just Mac, decided he'd taken enough, and he had. And that plain little lad got a little bit mad, and that plain little Mac did a plain little thing. He swung, and his swing shook the throne of the king. And Howard, the king of the G, S and T, the king of the W, M and the D, with enough broken pledges to fill up a lorry, and a heart that's so hard he can't even say sorry, the king of the lie and of all things half true, well, that was the end of the wee Johnny's rule. For Howard, the hero of all with blue blood, fell off his high throne and fell splat in the mud. And today, little Johnny, that marvellous he, is king of the mud. That's all he can see. And the voters, of course, all the voters are free, as people and maybe all creatures should be.